Well, the NCAA and ESPN announcing they will continue their programming deal. That means for 40 NCAA championships will be appearing on ESPN networks over the next 8 years. Now, sports media is going through an evolution, with streaming services jumping on the sports coverage bandwagon and consumers shifting how they want to watch their favorite teams. Let's bring in Ed Dessa, president of Dessa Sports Media, to discuss more. Thank you for joining us this morning. So walk us through how we saw some of these sports rights deals get pushed up to this degree.
Sports has become the most important form of programming for linear networks, traditional television networks. And it's really the only thing that generates significant audiences on a reliable basis. So that has caused more interest among traditional networks. And then add to it the fact that streaming services are also starting to look for sports programming to augment their generally scripted programming. And so you've got an increase in demand against relatively fixed supply. And it's as simple as that. Now, it's worth mentioning that there has also been a decline in purchasing power by some of those traditional networks as cable cutters have impacted the top line revenues.
But I have to ask you about the size of the deal. It's roughly triple what the current deal is, looking at $115 million annually in this 8-year deal. Do you think, given the shape of how streaming has changed, and perhaps even some of the record-breaking performances we saw from these college athletes over the past year, is that also adding fuel to this?
Well, certainly we're seeing greater interest in women's sports, and that's really the major change. Audience levels for men's sports have been relatively fixed and even have been declining a little bit just based upon the overall marketplace decline. Women's sports have been doing quite a bit better in recent years, and last spring, the NCAA women's basketball tournament registered nearly 10 million viewers, which is an all-time record. That is providing additional fuel for the trend. But as I said before, the key here is that there is more and more interest in sports because it's live, because people watch the commercials, because it's topical, and for many other reasons. And so sports programming has been the big beneficiary of the increase and adoption of streaming. As more of the entertainment programming has gone to streaming, that has left sports, as the predominant property for the linear networks like ESPN.
And Ed, a lot of people's heads are spinning as to where they can find, their favorite content, as we're seeing a lot of these deals and these M&A deals as well. But it's traditional television, it's streaming. You have tech giants entering this space as well. What does this mean in terms of the pie for advertisers?
Well, obviously, having more places to look is an issue for subscribers and fans. And so discovery is a bigger challenge. And I expect that will be addressed over time as there is more viewership of sports events on the streaming services. As it relates to advertising, advertising has always been a very popular part of the revenue stream of sports telecasts. And it's a very reliable audience. The demographics are good. And for many products, ranging from insurance to quick service restaurants to beer, it's a place that sponsors have flocked to over the years. And so I think the fact that it's maybe more streaming than it used to be doesn't dampen the interest of sponsors at all. They will migrate to where they need to go in order to reach their clients.
I appreciate you joining us with that breakdown. Ed Dessa, president of Dessa Sports Media. Fascinating time to be in streaming and sports right now.
Happy to be here.